Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is probably going to be one of the hardest that I've ever filmed and probably the hardest one I will ever film. I have been thinking about doing something like this for a long time, months and months. I've not known whether to do a video on it, a blog post, whether to just mention it on social media, in one of my vlogs. It's always in the back of my mind, and I feel like by not talking about it and not letting you all in on who I really am and what really is going on in my day-to-day life, I'm kind of trying to pull the wool over your eyes and maybe not being completely honest with you or really myself about what is going on. And I think I'm going to start right from the beginning because that's probably the easiest place and it will enable me to explain it a little bit easier. I've not made any notes for this video. I've been thinking about it the past couple of days when I kind of decided that I was going to film this. I've been thinking about it non-stop, and it got to the point this morning where it was like there was no way I wasn't going to film it because I couldn't carry on thinking about it, what I was going to say, whether I should do it or not. I just knew I needed to do it just so that it was not in my head anymore. And then this morning when I actually woke up, I saw on Twitter that it's actually time for a change day today, which is a mental illness awareness day. So I kind of felt like it was the best time for me to upload this. It is my YouTube channel's first birthday today, and I kind of feel like it's probably not the most celebratory video I could have made, but it's kind of come full circle. And the reason why I started this channel in the first place is because of the story that I'm about to tell you, so it kind of does make sense to me to upload this today for more reasons than one. I'm going to try not to edit much of this because obviously as I'm saying things, they're straight from here. I've not got any notes. I just want to say it as it comes into my head. So if there are a lot of and likes and things, then just bear with me. So today is my YouTube channel's first birthday. On this day a year ago, I uploaded my first ever YouTube video to this channel. I did start a channel a few years prior to that. I uploaded a few makeup tutorials, what's in my bag, and some haul videos and things. I didn't have a massive following, and it was something that kind of fizzled out quite quickly. And last year, so 2014, Thomas and I got married, and it was the best day of my life. It was amazing, and that's probably something that I'm going to share with you at another time. Obviously planning a wedding is really difficult, and I felt like I did quite a lot of it on my own. So obviously Thomas helped and said yes and no to decisions, things like that, but I did the majority of it on my own with little bits of help from different people along the way. It was quite stressful, it was quite emotional, a lot of things happened. We decided to have quite a small wedding, which seemed to be quite controversial, and there was a lot of different things, disagreements and things along the way that made it a lot more difficult and a lot more stressful than it needed to be. And then we went on honeymoon, we came back, and I think it was just a massive anticlimax. Thomas lost his grandpa, who I'm really close to Thomas's side of the family, and that was kind of like a really difficult thing to find out, something like that when you get back off honeymoon, when you're supposed to be on such a high, and then to experience such loss and know that so many people are going through such a traumatic, horrible time. It really kind of brought us back down to earth, and very quickly. And I think at the time I was working in Chester at Thomas's company, and I was struggling so much. I think I've had this for a long time. I think I've been like this for a long time, but it was this time in 2014 that it really came to light, and it made me realise actually this is more than just who you are, that there's something else going on here. And it got to the point we were driving from Southport to Chester every day in the morning and at night. Sometimes it would take an hour and a half, sometimes it would take a much longer time. And I was crying all the way there, all the way back. And Thomas didn't understand why. I enjoyed working where I was working, the people. I just couldn't lift myself out of this sadness that I felt, and I was trying to put on a brave face every single day, but I just literally couldn't feel anything apart from sadness. And I know that I have so much in my life to be thankful for, to be happy about, which kind of makes it worse because I just couldn't understand why I was feeling the way that I was feeling. And it got to the point where I literally, the thought of leaving the house, the thought of communicating with people, the thought of having to do anything petrified me. And I kind of confided in a couple of people and watched some videos on YouTube, and decided that I needed to go and get help. I needed to go and talk to the doctors. I was in a fortunate position where I was able to stop work. We kind of said that it was because I was leaving, I was going to do other things, but it really was because I was so down, that it was just not, it wasn't healthy for me or for Thomas or our relationship for me to carry on the way that I was. So I went to the doctors and basically told her all of these things that I'd been feeling and things about the past. And in September 2014 I was diagnosed with social anxiety disorder and depression, and that is a label that I never ever thought that I was going to be given. And it kind of makes sense in a way, because if you're watching this and you know me, if you've known me for a long time, if you went to school with me, if you are one of my teachers or even a family member, this probably won't come as much of a shock. I have always been shy, unconfident, nervous. I still do hate being the centre of attention. I used to hate going in places first, still do. I hated taking things back in a shop, speaking to people. When my sisters used to bring friends home from school, I used to go up and hide in my bedroom. And I just thought that that's who I was, and that obviously that's a small part of it, but I just thought that I was just that was just who I was, that was my personality. But then over the years, certain things have gotten worse and worse and worse to the point where it's uncontrollable, and it's kind of like those things are controlling me rather than me controlling those things. And I can't think, it was kind of like a downward slope, and it led to me just being so unhappy. And like, I used to get, I get really bad heart palpitations all the time. My heart feels like it's going to beat out of my chest. My palms get sweaty and clammy. I get so nervous. I don't really ever want to be in public. I just always thought that it was because I was unconfident. And when the doctor told me that actually a lot of the things that I told her pointed towards this anxiety disorder, it kind of upset me in a way, because it made me think that if there's a reason for that part of me, for that part of my personality, if there's a reason that I am the way that I am that way, and I can sort that out, and I can take medication or see a counsellor for that part of who I am, and then that gets changed or taken away, I don't know who I am. I've always had massive ambitions, massive dreams, and I've wanted to do so much of my life, and at the moment I feel like I'm just existing. I can't do anything about it. I can't. The thought of going and reaching for something that is outside of what I'm doing at the moment petrifies me. And last year, when I finished working in Chester, 2014, I decided to start my blog on my YouTube channel again, and it has been the only thing that has kept me going every day with, like, obviously my family and Thomas has, but I mean, like, in a way of something for me to do. When Thomas is at work, when he's out of the house, it means that I'm not just sat there on my own in a room waiting for something to happen or worrying about things that don't really matter, but things that I can't help but worry about. And by having this channel and starting this up, it's given me something to focus on, and it's something that I enjoy. And I've met so many amazing people, and I talk to so many of you, that it really has, it gives me something to look forward to, and it's given me so many opportunities. Like when I've been down to London with for press events, and when I've worked with different brands and stuff, that is like the times when I go to London and you don't see when I don't film it, the times before I go, I get myself so worked up to a point where I kind of tell myself I can't go and I can't do it. But then there's something different about this that makes me want to, and I do it. There have been so many things in the past where I've lost so many friends and ruined so many things and messed so much up because I think I will say that I'm going to something if I get invited to go somewhere or do something, and I'll say I'm going and I'll be really excited about it, genuinely excited, genuinely want to go, and then literally an hour before I'm supposed to leave the house, something says to me that I can't go and that I can't leave the house, and I can't go, and I don't understand it. Some days, these past few days, I have been so incredibly numb, and I don't know why. I have spent the last few days just sat around having no motivation for anything, not wanting to do anything, just sat staring at the walls, and I don't know why, and it frustrates the hell out of me because I know that I'm so much more than someone that just sits around and stares at the ceiling, but I can't. Sometimes it's just so hard for me to lift myself out of that, and I think unless you've struggled with something like anxiety and depression, you can't really understand what it's like. I can't really explain it myself. I wouldn't say that I think the depression comes and goes. Last year I had days where I was on form, I'd be up, I'd be doing something, I'd have productive days, and I'd go to bed tired because of how much I'd done that day. And then there were other days where I just have no want in me to do anything, I don't know, and it's that then makes it, triggers off the eating, and when I eat rubbish, and then it triggers me putting weight on, and then it makes me feel worse, and I feel like I am completely not explaining this properly, but it's something that it's in like the pit of my stomach all the time, and it's hard. I don't think anybody around me that has not experienced it really knows what to say or what to do, and I just want to be okay again. I just want to not have this, like, as if there's not enough in the world pulling people back, as well as having something else that's in here that shouldn't be. I think certain things when you're younger make you the way that you are, and I had a wonderful childhood. The part of it, I kind of see my childhood in two parts, and the part that's over here with my family and the hotel and all the amazing experiences that I had when I was younger is over here, and this is like a massive smiley face. And then in a box over here I keep the bit that is all surrounding my dad, which I'm not going to go into because obviously I've got 3 sisters and there are a lot more people involved, and it's not something that I can't make the decision whether to air that in public kind of thing. But that's over here, and I think that a lot of this contributed to the way that I am now, which kind of makes me feel worse that I let somebody, I don't know, 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 I don't who I have no loyalty towards, no love for, no respect for, nothing but bad feelings towards, affect me in such a way that it now is affecting my day-to-day life. So I have been on a few different medications, and I've seen a couple of counsellors who I've not really gotten on with the counselling side of it. I kind of feel like a little bit of a fraud when I'm seeing counsellors. I feel like when I'm talking about things that upset me or things that I struggle with, for example, going into somewhere first, I feel like that is so minute on the scale of things of what's going on in the world that I feel almost like I shouldn't, like I don't have a reason to be there. How can I be sat there grumbling about the fact that some days I don't want to get out of bed when there are so many worse things going on in the world? And I know it's all relative, and I know that this is happening to me inside of my head, but I can't justify feeling that way, and to sit in front of somebody and have to explain everything, I don't know, I didn't really get on with it. I am back at the doctor's next week because, as I say, these last couple of weeks really have been not the easiest. I think the transition between moving houses and everything being so full on, and then kind of everything stopping and us moving in, has been quite a lot to take on. And I feel like I sometimes don't realise that I need to pay attention to myself and make sure that I'm coping before I just get up and do 15 things that day. I'm back at the doctor's next week, and hopefully I don't want to be reliant on medication, but I feel like it's the first step in maybe changing something that's up here to help me do things better. I don't know if this video is how I imagined it would be. There is probably so much more that I could say and want to say. There are some times when I start talking to somebody and I just start crying, and there'll be people that I know, there'll be people that I'm excited to talk to, but I get so nervous. There was a few months ago where I saw an old teacher and who I've got an amazing relationship with, and I couldn't stand there and talk to her because I was so nervous and shaky and on the verge of crying. And today is the first day in a while where I've got dressed and put makeup on and felt a little bit more myself. When I think back to so many occasions when I was younger and things that happened to me and the way that I reacted or acted or was, it all kind of makes sense. And I think that, I don't know if it would have helped knowing that I have this earlier, or whether it's easier to understand a little bit more because I'm a little bit older. I just hope that it gets sorted and that this isn't me forever, because I much prefer myself when I'm not feeling sad. And I don't mean feeling sad like having just like a bad day. I mean feeling sad where you literally can't see past the wall that's in front of you. Like there is nothing, like you kind of like numb to everything. You just can't see the point in anything. There's just no purpose, no wanting me to do anything, which isn't who I am. And I find, and if anything, that makes me more frustrated and kind of pushes me 10 steps back. I guess I just wanted to get it off my chest, because when I'm vlogging and there's days where I'm like, I'm having such a bad day today, I want to talk to you about it, or I want you to know why I'm having a bad day and that it's not necessarily something that's in my control. And I also feel like, especially with it being times change day to day, that it's something that I shouldn't be ashamed to talk about, and I should. But then I feel like so many people say that they suffer with anxiety, and probably most of them do, but then I feel like there are a lot of people that say they have when they don't really know what it's like. and I didn't want people to think that I was just jumping on the bandwagon, so to speak. But I think this is important for me to do and for me to look back on, and hopefully I know there are other people out there that watch this that suffer with what I have. There is one girl who I talk to quite a lot, who she is quite open about it on her blog, and she writes some amazing posts about it, and I never comment on them because obviously I never wanted to say that I knew what she was going through, because I hadn't told anybody, kind of like in the blog YouTubey world. But sometimes when I'm reading through her posts, I can relate to every single thing that she says, and at first it makes me a little bit panicky because I feel like I'm going through that with her, but then I kind of feel a little bit more comforted that actually it's not just me that these things happen to. And I wish I could tell you what it's like, and I wish it was something that would just go away, that it's something that I could just put in a box and push to one side, but at the moment I'm struggling so much with how to do that. I hope that I don't really know how to finish this video. I think that's all I've got to say for now. It's a horrible thing, and it's something that I never thought that I'd be telling people. I guess the way to finish this is to say that just know that if you're going through something like that, that you're not the only one. That's something that's really helped me, and hopefully now I can move forward with my videos and make videos that reflect me properly, and I feel like I'm being completely honest with you all in them, and I'm not hiding something. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on Sunday. Bye for now.